Hey everybody, what's up? This is Retrokid Reviews. Hope you enjoyed my catch-up week with Marvel News and Mana Web. And for those three of you who dislike to death for something I might have missed on X-Men 97, yeah, I'll address the most obvious elephant out of the room. With Morph, I apologize that I forgot that they're non-binary, not regular gendered, so my bad there, character-wise. That being said, I was gonna do a quick short on doing a speedrun corrections of that and catch up on the Kamar Gates announcement that it's going to be the next Blu-ray in Tokusatsu. Go to Easy Rider for discussing most of the news that happened there. Hakio's already covered that, and Boom Booger's cast, which I will do probably later this week. But if there's anything I know of my namesake as a Retrokid of Retrokid Reviews, is that I love Nerf, and more importantly, makeshift Nerf. So yeah, this is the Air Warriors Easy Fire. So coming off of the package, as you can tell, it's very rare for not just regular Nerf, but I think open window boxes. Then Busby's case is zip ties. So much so that I think I snapped one of my old scissors. So yay, that's gonna be a fun conversation to talk about. But definitely don't regret forgetting these in the plastic-free era of Hasbro Nerf. So what do you get with $20? Well, the good news is, in case you saw in the box, you get basically 2 mags for the blaster itself. I'm going to take the attachment out because I think my framing is a little off. And some Accu style, yeah, darts. Go to Wacom's video. He talked more about the rounds and how it's pretty comparable to a lot of Accu rounds over the years as far as non-Nerf blasters go. And the biggest, I guess, addition, I guess, plus for this is that for those who had the Sentinel, which I didn't when this is mainly the body of, essentially, as far as this blaster goes, it does this in reverse. It is basically a rapid-fire kind of prime. It's supposed to simulate, essentially, a top-loader, essentially. And for those Critical Role alumni, yes, this feels like a Nerf equivalent of a ballista. So, historical background, I guess, credit aside. I heard of the new announcement video for their upcoming circle for Candela Obscura, so I'll probably do a full trailer react on that, if anything else. So that being said, let's get back to the blaster itself. Coming in at $19.99, depending where you are tax-wise in the States. This is actually a pretty good blaster. It's a good loner primary, if anything. The fact that it has an extra mag is all awesome for the price. And this is a stark difference from 2 weeks ago when I had to do that, what had changed in Elite 2.0's and for the Vault. Should I pair it with this? Depends. It's your loadout, not mine, if anything. As a plinker style kind of blaster, which more or less it is. The Slam Fire, which this does have still, if for those who had the Sentinel, it's actually really entertaining. It's hard to do this sitting down. I'll probably have a short, I guess, showcasing a first-person perspective of it, like hip firing. Yeah, ultimately, I feel like this is a decent blaster on its own. More importantly, there are a few cons, as you can already tell. This is how you're supposed to unload it. You keep the sight picture, which also handles as the carry handle and the primer. There's a lot going on with this just on its own. So, on top of that, the mag is very, it's not user error. It's basically very tailor-made for this particular blaster and probably whatever's coming up next in the Air Warriors on Busby. But there's only like a handful of blasters that it can actually handle. So this is my Nexus Pro. I am very much aware of all the news of the upcoming Nexus Pro X. And the fact that it's still keeping the original $50 price tag with all the new bells and whistles, even down to the BK Bakar style barrel, which I thought was more or less a flywheel answer to Scarbell. So I'll get to that when I get that blaster later this year. So demonstrating from the Easy Fire's mag, it clicks in just fine. The big problem I've seen so far, if I prime, it immediately drops. Gravity drops. So yeah, that's one of the big hiccups there. So that's kind of where it can take the mag. It clicked in just fine. It's just user error on mainly the mag itself, more or less. Another thing I've noticed, and the cool part was about that stock earlier, is that it is an N-Strike compatible attachment point. So that's awesome for anybody who has like a old school Strife or any current day Nerf blasters that still have that stock attachment point. Here's the stock, and I think Qualcomm demonstrated best last year that it has one glaring flaw. It clicks back in pretty easily. Now, it's hard to demonstrate that and probably show it off in a real-world kind of environment, like maybe like a local war, maybe you're dropping it into like one too much cover, and then it smacks all the way in. But on those first two hits, it's pretty stationary, but you can already tell it's already loosening up, it's getting jostled. But other than that, it confirms just fine, in my opinion, with my copy, so I don't know after that. It does take, N-Strike compatible blasters. This is my, just whatever I have around, I think Zombie Strike Crossfire. Sorry, Crossbow. Can you tell I'm already geared up for round whatever of the upcoming new Nerf zombie series. So it clicks in, but it's probably the most confirming, and in case you could tell, this isn't performative. This is me trying to get it out. So your mileage may vary on how thick older blasters like this and how far that stack attachment point is going. If anything, you could probably file it down. I haven't really found any mods for the Easy Fire other than probably ARs. And that's how you get back into framing. Little tidbit there. So overall thoughts with the blaster and its attachments, it's pretty high grade. The fact that Busby went out of their way after a sleeping, I guess, dragon metaphor I think Qualcomm was going into with this blaster is that ultimately you're still getting a lot more than what you usually would for a $20 budget when it comes to a full price blaster like this. The Panic like Slamfire is a good strat, if anything, if you could go with your loadouts in future HVZ wars or stuff like that down the road this year. Ultimately, it's really up to you if you want to do this. I say yes if you need like a loner style primary for somebody's first time into a game. I totally highly recommend it if anything else. Mod potential is pretty low. The fact that it's an inverted Sentinel means you're probably going to be doing recommended mods there, but in the opposite direction of the body of the blaster. So that all being said, not really much. Like I said, I just want to showcase one last thing. Since it is a stock attachment point and that the Easy Fire does take, well, more importantly, Nerf mags. Forgot to preload it. Yeah, so this is my 10 from the Moto Blitz. And another thing about the 14-rounder Easy Fire mag is that I think it's gonna slide out the easiest with flywheel blasters, because it did for my Moto Blitz. So your mileage may vary on what type of flywheel blasters. It can get in the mag wheel just fine. You still need to probably modify it to make sure it clicks in if you're going to dedicate that as your personal loadout, if anything else. So quick fire. Again, all this is dry fire. I will probably do a live fire demonstration on the shorts probably later in the week. Another thing I've noticed when firing just on dry fire alone is that a lot of things, there's a little bit of a crack here. My camera can't pick it up, but if you see it yourself in person, you could definitely get a good view of how mostly the spring and the plunger is going to work. So a good preview in case you need to prep your, I guess, modification of anything. Another thing, the sight picture for the carry handle / primer is very comically like old school like targeting, so it's not really an actual sight. They just probably did something there to, I don't know, help out, I guess, investors on this blaster, if anything, Busby related. Ultimately, judgment time for this blaster, 7 out of 10. Again, if you're in the mindset of giving it as a loner, as a dedicated like loner loadout for somebody in a local war, I'm all the more for it. However, there is some few cons, like I said with the stock, like I said with the Prime earlier. It's fine on its own. The gravity drop is pretty good. It takes the normal like N-Strike, Nerf mags just fine. For the mags themselves and the actual blaster, it is very picky what type of blasters you're looking for. I think I also tested it with my Rampage, and surprisingly that worked the best, maybe because it was the magwell or anything. It's very magwell dependent if you're going to dedicate the Easy Fire mags into your future loadouts coming up. So that all being said, that is really all I can say. For me catching up on this blaster side, go to the blaster here to my upcoming Critical Role short for episode 85, which is probably out as of this recording. Other hand here in the end cards to sit through my review of Madam Web, and with that all being said, and probably a catch up of retro news ahead, this is Retrokid Reviews saying, Yeah, that's a very leaky Prime. I don't know if that's like my copy or that it's been there for a long time. I don't really know, but future mods aside, take care, subscribe, hit the notification bell down below as always. I'm Retrokid Reviews saying, yeah, this is not bad for a loner. Not bad, Busby. Not bad at all.